Let's talk about functions. Ignoring some details for now, a function is a piece of code that can take inputs to perform a certain task. We've actually already been using functions. For example, when we create a label of Go Team at 200, 100, label is actually a function. We didn't make a big deal out of that, but that's what it is. Let's go over some vocabulary about functions. This line is a function call, which is how we ask Python to run a function. We do that by writing the function's name, which in this case is label, and then a set of parentheses. Inside those parentheses, we put the function arguments, which are the inputs we give to the function so that it knows what to do. In this case, it's a value to print and an x and a y location at which to draw that label. Now, what if we want to make our own function? This is actually a very important thing for us to be able to do, because even though there are lots of cool functions for us to use, we're going to want to make many more, even cooler functions of our own. For example, maybe I want to have a function drawFramedLabel. It's just like drawing a label. It takes in a value I want to draw, and an x and a y location, but also a color of a frame or a rectangle that I want to put behind this label. In this case, gold. If I go ahead and run this, it won't work, and the console tells us that drawFramedLabel is not defined. Unlike label, there's no built-in function named drawFramedLabel. We're going to have to make it ourselves. We say that we're going to have to define a new function. We'll go ahead and do that here. So we'll def, meaning define, a new function. We're going to name it drawFramedLabel. And now we have to provide names for each of the inputs. It takes a value, an x and a y position, and a color for the background. Now let's write what the function will actually do. First, I have to create the background. We'll put it at xy, 300 wide, 100 tall. The fill will be the color, and we'll change the alignment to center. The label will be that value at x and y. Let's make it big and bold. Don't worry if you feel like we are moving quickly. You're going to spend a lot of this unit actually covering what's in this video. Right now, we're just making sure we understand the basics and the vocabulary. So when I run this, I get a nice framed label. To review quickly what just happened, I created an entirely new function named drawFramedLabel, and I called that function here. Let's add a little more vocabulary. This whole thing is our function definition. We start the definition by writing the word def. Then we give the function a name. Here we named it drawFramedLabel. After the function name, we decide what the function will take as inputs by listing its parameters. Here, the parameters are value, x, y, and color. Let's clarify some terminology. The parameters are the names we give to the inputs of the function, while the arguments are the actual values the function will use when we call it. These are the parameters, these are the arguments. After we've written the function name and its parameters, we end the line with a colon. Then we indent the following lines. These indented lines are the function body, which is the part of the function that actually does the work. The function body must be indented. If we don't indent this line, like this, it will not be part of the function body anymore. So down here, we make a function call with a value of GoTeam, x of 200, y of 100, and color of gold. Then the function body will actually run, but with these parameters holding on to these values of the arguments. And that way we're going to get a gold rectangle, and we're going to get a label using GoTeam. One thing to note is that we have to put the function definition above the function call. Python reads code from top to bottom, so if we put the function call before the definition, we will get a runtime error. When Python reaches the line with the function call, Python doesn't know what drawFramedLabel is because it hasn't seen the definition yet. So we need to make sure that the definition is above the function call. So now we've written our very own function, and we can actually call the function multiple times with different arguments. Let's make another framed label. Let's say awesome, and we'll put this one at 200, 300 with a light green background. And there it is. So once you have a function defined, you can call it repeatedly. That's very handy, and it's one of the main reasons we write functions in the first place. But the real reason we write functions is that we want to add the ability to do new things with Python. And much of what you do when you program will be writing new functions. And then you'll write even larger functions using those functions. And in that way, you'll learn to program big, beautiful things. For now, I hope you understand all the words that we used and the basic idea of creating a new function and using that function by calling it. Have fun with the unit, and good luck! Carpe diem!